What is up, y'all? Thanks for stopping in. So, along with Rob Schneider tearing into Garth Brooks for saying he'll still serve Bud Light at a time like this in his new bar, Friends with Low Places, Friends from Low Places, who cares? Green jacket, gold jacket, who cares? We also have gay bars in Chicago and Minneapolis announcing they will no longer offer any Anheuser-Busch product, displaying that this is not just some kind of conservative anti-LGBT movement for the reason of people moving away from drinking Bud Light permanently and finding a better beverage. We also have these images of Bud Light stacks at Walmart going viral, all of which have happened just this week. But now we also have the most recent week-over-week Bud Light sales reports, and it's looking really, really bad for Anheuser-Busch's Bud Light. Before we get into that, I want to show you what's going on at Walmart so we can all have a laugh before we laugh again when I give you the latest Bud Light sales report. This article from Newsweek, image of Bud Light stack at Walmart goes viral. Just take them, in quotes. And here's a little video of the image. Whenever I pause it, the continue button goes over it. But you see there, just take them. The photo posted to Twitter showed the cases of beer piled high at Walmart with a price tag edited to just take them. Walmart has updated their sale on Bud Light. The caption read on the tweet, which has been viewed more than 960,000 times. Bud Light has faced a national boycott by conservatives since April. Well, conservatives and pro-LGBT and centrists and everybody else. So, I mean, I guess they're all conservatives, then it's conservatives, but you be the judge on that. I don't know. The idea was to celebrate the 1-year anniversary since the transition. Yeah, we all know that. Let's see. So, LOL, landfill probably doesn't even want them, joked one person in the replies to the tweet showing the Walmart stacks. Another added, wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Cheaper to give them away than ship them back. If no one buys them, that is obviously fake. And a third wrote, obviously fake. The ongoing backlash saw Bud Light knocked off the top spot as most bought beer brand in the U.S. and was replaced by Modelo. The boycott campaign also led to weeks of falling stock prices for Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch. However, its stock managed to make a climb back up to $58.86 from $55.16 in the week ending on July 16th. Well, let's go over here and actually look at where it's at currently. And it is currently at $56.76, where at the beginning of April it was around $66. It fell to $54 at the end of May, rallied back up to $58, and in the last couple days has dropped back down to where it's currently sitting at $56.84 or $56.76, depending on which part of the graph we go off of. So it's fallen back down, and I wonder if, and I bet that these sales reports will actually have an impact, considering Bud Light sales fall 30% in latest week since boycott. This one also by Newsweek. 30%. You guys, pat on the backs. We hit the 30% mark. I didn't know if it was going to happen. I thought it was stabilizing around 25%, but we did it. We hit the 30% mark. Now let's go further. We eclipsed the 25% mark now. Let's go for the 33.3 repeating percent mark. And keep going. Let's go. So let's read more, though. Bud Light off-premise sales have continued to see sustained contractions compared to the same time last year as the beer brand suffers its worst decline in year-on-year volume since its brief partnership with transgender influencer brought on the calls for boycott, which has now transitioned to movement As I've mentioned before in other videos, people aren't waiting for Bud Light to do anything so they can go back and drink this beer. They are simply moving on to a better beer, thus a movement. The latest tracking figures by Nielsen IQ provided to Newsweek by Bump Williams Consulting show that in the week ending June 10th, Bud Light sales volume, the number of units of beer sold was 30.3% lower than in the same week in 2022. The largest such drop since the week ending April 1st, which is the first week that of the controversy. So great job to see that this is going on here now, June 20th, nearly 3 months later, should send out shockwaves to the woke companies out there serving ESG and DE&I rather than creating good products and providing good service with no political agenda tied to their product or company. People are tired of having things shoved in their face and down their throat. Let's continue. However, Dave Williams, Vice President for Analytics and Insight at Bump Williams Consulting, cautioned that Bud Light's sales earlier in the year still made it the top brand in America in both retail revenue and volumes, despite a strong showing from competitor labels. Since the calls for a boycott of the beer brand began in the start of April, both Bud Light's sales revenue and volume saw steep declines in the first 5 weeks of the controversy before settling around mid-20% below the levels of 2022. Like I said, it was about 25% to be exact. That's what we've seen there, 24, 25, 26%. During the controversy, parent company Anheuser-Busch was accused of alienating its traditional customer base with the partnership, while some in the LGBTQ community have also slammed the company for not defending its ties with Mulvaney. If you hadn't seen my other video, there is a new LGBT bar, well, not new bar, but a new bar that has decided to stop serving Anheuser-Busch, and that is up there, all Anheuser-Busch products, and that is up there in Minneapolis. It's called The Saloon or something like that. So good job for them. And thus, considering that there's multiple gay bars not serving Anheuser-Busch for the same, over the same debacle, I would say that this is not a conservative movement. It is universal. I said that in other videos, but I just think that that's important to reiterate because the authors of a lot of these articles like to call it a conservative movement. They like to label it as something, which is a bully tactic that scares certain people away because they just read the word conservative. And so let people have freedom of choice. Let them make up their own minds and get the information and soak the information in and make their own decision. Don't label it something and give it a preconceived notion that it is this or that when we're talking about literally advertising alcohol to children, just the whole thing. I don't have to go through the list. There's many reasons that everybody has. There's many reasons across the board that people are boycotting this product. But they aren't all the same for everybody. While the company's global CEO Michael Doukeris said in a May 4th investor call that the declining Bud Light sales represented about 1% of Anheuser-Busch's global volume, the latest figures suggest the backlash is having a lasting impact on the beer brand's U.S. revenue. In the week ending June 10th, Bud Light sales revenue was down 26.8%. In the same week a year ago, Williams told Newsweek that it had been a tough week for Bud Light and for other brands. In the week ending June 3rd, sales revenue had seen a year-on-year decline of 24.4%. and 23.9% the week before that. Let's see here. However, Williams expressed caution, saying no intelligent company makes strategic or tactical decisions predicted on single-week data points, as there are too many variables. Well, it's been more than single weeks at this point, so I don't know. I know that Bud Light is losing shelf space. They're laying people off. They're scrambling over there. And my dogs are barking in the background. So let's read a little bit more. Statistics provided to Newsweek by Constellation Brands, the beer's U.S. distributor, showed Modelo Especial drew $36 million more in sales than Bud Light in the 4 weeks to May 28th. Bill Newlands, the company's CEO, said the jump had occurred quicker than we had anticipated. Unfortunately, they just shifted from one AB brand to another, in my opinion. In the week to June 10th, Modelo Especial sales revenue grew 5.7% compared to the same time in 2022, with a 1.5% increase in volumes. Anheuser-Busch's other beer brands continued to see sales impacted by the backlash against Bud Light, with Budweiser seeing a 10.2% revenue decline in the week ending June 10th compared to the same week a week ago. Busch Light saw a 4.2% drop in the same period, and Natural Light a 2.3% fall. Beer brands in the Molson Coors stable continue to a trend of Bud Light's competitors appearing to absorb the demands from boycotters. In the week ending June 10th, Coors Light revenues were up 25.4%, and Miller Lights were 21.1% above the same week in 2022, despite the latter facing its own calls for a boycott over supposedly woke advertising campaign. Yeah, that came and gone real fast. It was a more of a feminist joke of a campaign attempt that fizzled out and went away real quick after people just laughed it into oblivion. But so there you have it. The most recent Bud Light sales reports indicate that the boycott / movement is working, is getting worse for Anheuser-Busch, and more entertaining for us who are laughing while drinking a new beer product. With that, I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash the like button. Also, smash the subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next one.